morning. Thank you for meeting with us.
Sure.
So we're a group of mostly providers and folks from Baltimore.
Right.
We
I was
work
born
for
and raised in
healthcare for the
Baltimore.
homeless. And this is, the sick leave issue is something
Okay,
we're very
yeah, I'm
concerned
on the
about.
committee of jurisdiction.
Yes, oh, great.
That's,
Yes.
that's why we're coming to you.
Yeah, well, thank
That's why
you.
we're here,
We were trying to talk about the Healthy Working Families Act,
Okay.
SB
Sick and safe leave, right.
230, yeah,
Right.
sick and safe leave.
Right.
And so we're just, trying to talk about, in working in the, the healthcare field, people's health is pretty important to us, and so we're just trying to come and advocate for those individuals in Maryland that don't have access to that right now.
Yes.
So it's estimated, that with this legislation, over 700,000 people will either have access to sick leave, paid or unpaid, and protection in case they're in domestic violence situations or whatever the situation might be related to their health.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for caring about your fellow man. Before we go any further, I just want you to know that I supported all the Affordable Care Act provisions here. Maryland is an all-payer state. With or without insurance, when you go to an emergency room here in Maryland, because of our compassion and our responsibility to our fellow man, you will, as you well know, receive that treatment. What we've attempted to do is improve upon that as we've gone forward. Our days right now, unfortunately, in this country, with so many things, are very uncertain. We really don't know what's going to come from Washington, but I can assure you, and we'll get right back to the point at hand, I can assure you that Maryland, as we were a leader before Affordable Care Act, with MHIP and DAW and MCHIP, if the worst of the worst happens, we are still going to provide that bridge to medical care, and we're going to do that. Now, we're hoping that the worst doesn't come. We're hoping that, I just had my first grandchild born Monday night at 11:40.
Congratulations.
Christian Alexander. My daughter is a licensed clinical therapist, and without spending a lot of time there, and her husband is a school teacher who just left the classroom after 13 years to go into the administration. Social studies was his primary. My son is in the MD PhD at University of Maryland Medical School, and his wife is an environmentalist down at the National Aquarium. The point is all of them are working. Come on in, my dear. Are working. All of them are working for a better tomorrow, and not in a parochial sense, but for all of us. Whereas we're uncertain what's happening in the United States, I remain committed to people I never have met. I lost my wife to a valiant breast cancer fight for 14 years. Before she was even diagnosed, she founded the Worcester County branch of the American Cancer Society and dedicated her life to reaching out to help people. So it's in our genes. Now, back to the sick and safe leave. I understand it. My intent is to vote for it. I have to, as much as taking care of our fellow man, I have to take care of the people that pay the bills too. So there's some concerns that the business community has. I think we're going to be able to find common ground there. I was the mayor. I was born and raised in Baltimore City. I've been down the beach for 45 years. I was one of those guys that went down there right after high school. And back in those days, you had to pay the toll both ways. You had to pay to go and pay to come home. I ran out of money, so I couldn't come home, so I've been there for 45 years. But the point is, and I was the mayor there and all those things. But I have to find a common ground with my business community. I am a Democrat in a very Republican performing area. I have not sold my soul. Before this extreme polarization sadly has occurred, I used to say I walked the tightrope. With this extreme polarization now, sadly I walk a razor blade. I get hurt no matter where I go and how I go there. But it's worth the pain for me. But I have to find ground of consent. It doesn't mean full consent with my business community, or else they'll crucify me. And the person that would be standing here talking to you today I'm not gonna be judgmental, would not have the effective leadership skills that I've been able to modestly mature into, nor the compassionate heart that I have. So many times the people in government legislate from the budget. They legislate from the budget. You can make your own conclusions. I am a person that is fiscally responsible. I'm attentive to the budget, but well aware of the need. So what I'm saying to you is, you know, deeds not words. You can read about me. I encourage you to do that. But I'm not ready to vacate my position to allow the next person to be here in my stead. I'm not the last good thing, but I can assure you they're not going to do the job as well as we get the job done. So I'll find peace at home. I can sell peace here. They know my needs here very clearly. I believe that I'm on the right road. I think we're going to be just fine, and we're going to go forward. I thank you for what you do. I'm a stakeholder of my daughter being a licensed clinical therapist. That says I wasn't going to dwell on her opportunity. She worked in an all-boys prison up in Connecticut. She's now, fortunately, is the behavioral health supervisor in the Worcester County school system. When I was going to school, and some of us in this room, I won't ask who, but you know, your healthcare needs in school was a physical health nurse. Smartly now, our healthcare needs in school was both a behavioral health as well as a physical health nurse. Mm-hmm. My daughter oversees those counselors in every school in Worcester County because she's been in the trench, and she will continue to. That's what she's going to do. And so when I speak with you, when I would go on the boardwalk, I just want you to know I was the mayor there for 10 years. The merry-go-round would be going, the lines for the French fry stand would be backed up for a block and a half. The caramel popcorn stand would be, the smells, if you close your eyes, you could smell them. You know, the kids were playing the skee balls. But over there, look over there, there was somebody over there that had their head down, and they were on a bench, and they had a bag of their whole worldly possessions. That's all they had. That's all they had. That wasn't what most people were experiencing on the boardwalk. Oh look, and there's one over there. There's not one. There's Mary over there. Oh look, when you pulled into Ocean City under the most beautiful public art, there were 2 or 3 folks gathered there together smoking cigarette butts that they picked up off the street. So I get it. It's in my blood. I was born and raised in Baltimore City. And God's allowed me the opportunity to be here with you today. You can count on my vote, but I need what I need to go home and not be crucified. All right? I believe in Jesus Christ, but I'm an ecumenical person, but I'm not letting them hang me on the cross. That ain't for me. Okay? I'll do my duty walking on the hot coals, but they're not going to hang me up to dry. I'll find my way so I can continue to work for you.
So does that mean amendments to the bill?
That means some amendments we're working on, yes. That means I've given my commitment to my chairman that I will vote for the bill, okay? But I have to have a very modest amendment. Not 5, not 3, not 2, 1.
What is it?
Is that like Hogan's
We're just-
proposal?
No, I'm not for the governor's bill.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not for the governor's bill. And I'm not opposed to the governor. And I'm not gonna sit here, you take the opportunity to speak with the governor if you can. Okay?
Sure.
I can assure you, I'm on the committee of jurisdiction, I'm a good Democrat, but I'm one that has to survive to continue to be here.
Are you
So
gonna
what's the
tell us-
amendment?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
what's
what's
the
the
amendment?
No, look, it's fine, it's my business to work out, but I told you that, I don't know what else I can tell you. I'm here, you're here, and we're together, and I'm gonna vote the bill when I get my amendment.
So, I have a question. Senator Mathias, what are your arguments against, the idea that this hurts the business leaders and the,
I have no arguments against anything.
okay,
My arguments are, not my arguments, my position is, I have to make sure that for all the benefits that are going to be distributed here for the people who need them the most, that the people who ultimately are going to, the employers, they want to continue to grow to create the jobs and all, that they find a practical way. But this is not, I'm not looking for 8 hours in one day or 7 days. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for what I need to give them cover, but then they're going to get their, they're going to have to work it out. Okay?
yeah,
It's not an argument. It's just, I gave my word last year on the last day, and I'm going to end it here. Okay, I gave them, I was going to vote the bill on the last day on an entirely different matter and take my consequences when I went home. But I'm not doing that this year. All I've asked for is one thing. It's a simple matter. It's not a big deal. And I think it's something that we can find common ground on. Okay?
okay, thank you.
And I can assure you, and this is not an egotistical remark, you would much rather be here with me today than who's going to perhaps pursue this seat in 2 years.
Is there a way we can find out what the amendment is? It sounds like you've
When
already.
it's,
yeah.
you know, when it's distributed, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm working it out, you know, and I'm not trying to be,
Okay.
I'm not trying to be coy.
Yeah, no, we're just curious.
No, I understand, look,
Yeah.
rest assured
Mhm.
that it's within the realm of good possibility, but the principals and I are working it out.
Got
It's
it,
not
got it, okay.
Unreasonable, it's not disenfranchising, okay, it's none of those things, but, all right.
Do you have fellow senators with you with that
Oh, yeah,
amendment?
oh, yeah,
that-
oh, yeah. Hey, look, they like me here.
Good,
They
good.
want me to stay here.
But we're set on that particular amendment.
Right.
Well, yeah. Again, again, I'm not being coy. For me to be here hasn't been an easy task. Okay? For me to come to the middle of the road is what I have been, my life's road and experience takes me to the middle of the road, okay? Sometimes I even have to go over a little further than the middle. I can do that too. But when I go over there, I have to make sure that when I come and ask them to come over, they need to do that as well. That's what a good marriage is based on, a relationship, friendships, you know, and they get it. They get it. And I don't want to use the word confident, but I'm not confident, but I am working towards and getting signals back that we're going to get this job done. Okay, the bill is going to pass. The bill is going to come out of committee. The bill is going to be what you are hoping for, that the voting committee is just the first vote. Then there's the floor argument, and there's the assault on the bill, which is never going to pass, but the assault is where the politics are rendered for the campaign in 2018. Okay, that's what happens there. And then, if the governor vetoes the bill, which he may or may not, depending, then there's another vote, which is the veto override. And we're going to make certain that that vote, when you look at that board, is strong. So, the committee debate, compromise, the committee vote, the floor debate,